We're live on testing days, guys and girls. Train to compete. I know you're going to see this video much later, but just to let you know where I'm at, I'm 11 days out for the Under Armour Combine 2024. Testing day today, which is very important. Testing day means today's session I treat very much like the Combine. I'm going very specific. I follow the sequence that I hope to do at competition day. And of course, I need to figure out a little bit of tactic and strategy going into that competition. So you do that by doing it, number one. Number two, one thing you really want to know is your 3-rep max for the bench press. You have 2 sets in the Combine, 2 work-in sets. You can obviously warm up as long as you want. But you want to make sure that you have one high set, a high 3-rep max, but which is safe. You don't want to fail. You cannot decrease the weight. And then you want to know what is the boundary you could push on competition day. If you're someone that competes or that performs on competition better than in training, you want to make sure you know a number that you could break on competition day. But make sure you have one safe one. So yeah, for me, that's the most important. And again, just going through, I treat this as a competition, but I treat it more as a skill session. So I'm not going to go all out on the shuttle beep test. Why? But I want to make sure I know the distance, the feeling of the distance, the beep, just get very specific and into it. So yeah, just join me. But again, I will release this video a little later because I don't want to show everything, right? So enjoy. And that might be helpful for the Combine 2025. So if you watched the last, I don't know how many episodes, sugary drinks are some of my best friends. Obviously, I want to have some liquid sugars to get my overall calories in, but also because I'm training so much that I need to make sure I can perform the way I would like to. Yeah, and then we're going to start with the sprint. I'm going to go over now. I'm not, obviously inside the gym, I'm not going to do a 40-yard sprint. I do that on other days, but today I want to do a 10 and a 20-yard. For me, the acceleration phase is my strength. That's where I make the most time. So I want to make sure my 3-point start and that 10 and 20-yard acceleration phase is on point. And then we move on to the sled push. And some of the movements on the testing day, I said it's more about the skill, not about the all-out performance. So everyone who sprinted before know how intense that is. And the last thing I want, the last thing you want, is that you pull a muscle or somehow get hurt right in front of competition. So I'm doing my 10, my 20 yards, focusing, as I said before, on the 3-point start, when to come upright, without going as fast as I can. I felt like I'm jumping more out of the 3-point start. Smooth transition. And one thing I always try to tell myself right before a sprint, don't try to be fast, just be. Get a little bit of a Bruce Lee philosophy here, but if you try to be fast and you're too tense, you look mean, you try to go as hard as you can, it slows you down. You've got to be very relaxed, especially once you enter the high-speed zone. I don't know who said it, but I'm quoting it, sorry for not having the name, but he said if you don't smile in that high-speed zone, you're not running efficient, you're not running soft. So you want to be looking like you're not trying hard. You just be fast, you know? Happy man, fast man. Happy man, fast man, exactly. Well, the problem with the sled is it's very hard to mimic the exact competition situation. In competition, we're going to use one of those sleds with the wheels. They're going to put the brakes on. They're going to put some weight on. And then it's a lot about the turf. Where you're pushing it on. Is it a normal turf? Is it Muay Thai mats? I have no idea. What I'm doing today is I'm going 20 meters on our turf. Not including the sled, I put 80% of my body weight on. It gives me good resistance, and for what it feels, it's similar to what I've done last year in competition. Yeah. Bench. Yeah, obviously if you want to figure out your 1RM, or in this case the 3RM bench, you have to go in with a little bit of a game plan so you don't blow your load warming up. Because if you go max, it's just so much you can do max, right? So I have my numbers in my head. I go a little lighter to what I expect, and I try a little heavier to what I expect. And in between, I just feel how it was, you know.
What was your maximum last year in the competition? What number?
So in the competition, on my last set, I did 127 for 3
right?
kilograms. Yes, 127. So it should be much more this year.
I'm thinking 135, 140.
We will find out.
135.
We will find out.
What are you on the bar?
100. So slowly going towards triple digits. All yours. Drive. 1. Drive, 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 drive. 2. Believe it. Drive, 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 drive. 120 on the bar. Yep. One. 2. Yeah!
Beautiful.
130 wasn't easy, but it also wasn't hard. And once you move some heavy weight, the next set of heavy weight just feels lighter, if that makes sense. So jump. Help me. Okay. 135 for 1. 1. Do it. 2. Come. You got it. Don't stop. Do it. Come. Gotcha. I'm setting up here as the reaction light test. It is, I believe, under Armour and or at the Combine Blaze Pod. Those lights you see in here lighting up are one of the sponsors. So the cognition test is a reaction test here on the lights, which I try to mimic. I think the test is amazing, but I wouldn't say it tests your reaction. It's still a skill, and if you practice that, you get better at it. So if your reaction time is high, it doesn't mean you're going to perform well on those lights. So last year, that was my biggest weakness, and this year, I'm preparing for it. Blue, 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 blue. Yeah!
7, no strikes.
47.
Let's go. Beautiful, beautiful.
47. The bus guy last year hit a 49. 2 strikes, vertical jump, hands on hips. This is going to be done on a force plate, which I believe is not ideal, just because the force plate don't really measure how high you jump. It measures how long are you in the air. So I believe there are some, how do you say, there's space for error.
Discrepancies between
Discrepancy, however you want to frame it. What I just did and what JP is about to do is the Illinois agility test. You hit the light, turn around, and one of the top corners is going to light up. And that's where you have to go, right? So you go to the right or to the left. And then there's a little bit of a slalom, right? You saw what I've done. The tricky part is to make sure that when you hit the light and you turn around, you can see both corners, because you don't know which one lights up. So make sure you turn far enough to be able to react and run in both directions. Okay, pull-up beep test. We try to mimic exactly what is happening in competition. So if you have the luxury to have a high pull-up bar, as we do here at Bang Tao, and you have a training partner who pulls the chair you're standing on away, you really mimic of how it's going to be at competition day, because that's how it's going to be. You stand you have your own judge. This judge is counting your reps, and you find your pull-up position, and then someone pulls the bar, the hocker, the chair, and then you hang in there for a second or two before you hear the first beep, and then you go up and down every 2 seconds on the beep. So what often happens if you start from the ground, you kind of use your legs, you jump a little bit on the first pull-up. So especially when it comes close to competition, we want to prepare. I would try to mimic everything that is happening on competition day as closely as you can. And that would be one way of doing it. Okay, so we're closing. Brandon's going to join the beep test. To film this is going to be a little boring. What I'm doing here is I'm measuring 20 meters. At least I hope. 20 meters are far. 18, 19, 20 here. As you can see, I like to be German and measure everything. So beep test, we're going to put on the beep timer. I'm not going to go all out. Changing directions is very tough in this gym. But yeah, Brandon's going to join JP. It's just about getting the feeling how far is 20 meters and how far or how quick does the beep come. Because redlining is kind of easy. I've done this many times. But you only redline and go all out the last, I don't know, minute, right? So everything you do in the first 8 minutes is kind of important because you want to be as efficient as possible. So practice it. As you know, big things can only be achieved with a strong group of men and women. So I want to take this moment to say a big, big thank you to our main sponsor, Golfhub. Golfhub is the very first and only golf simulator here in Phuket. Thank you, Lindsay, for supporting people at Bang Tao. If you guys train at Bang Tao Muay Thai, if you're living in the local area, if you're someone who like and watch people at Bang Tao, go check out Golfhub. It's an amazing place. You learn to play golf as a beginner. If you're advanced, this is the right spot for you. So if you're over here at Bang Tao Muay Thai and MMA, go say hello, check it out. Everything you need to know, you find in the description below.